and happy collabing. This is P over here.
M over there.
Patricia.
Mariah.
We are PM Artist Studio. Hey, and we are back again now for collab number 4. We're doing the hop as we have done for the Makers Creative Collab. There are about 10 plus channels involved. Now, let's get started. Here we go. All right. Now, those of you who've been around and know us, we've shown
recognize these
little boogers here because we only have 500.
If you're interested.
It is weaning down.
If you're interested, we've got a few.
Let us know in the comments below. Yeah, we love that. Say, hey, can you send me a few of those? They're very awesome cardstock. But this is a really quick and easy way to create a book cover. You could do this with chipboard or whatever you have that's kind of heavier. A lot of people even use food packaging and things of that nature. All I did, because this is a 5x7 card, is cut long ways, cut an inch off the end, and then you put that in the middle, cut that other piece in half, and there you go.
Voila.
And we've made many of these. So I've got this little system down. It works perfectly. And then I tear the pieces in half because there's really no sense in putting a full piece of tape across there. And it leaves kind of an interesting, I like the texture of it.
I do too.
It is purposefully done that way.
It's kind of stringy.
Yes, exactly. Now, this is the stack of papers that I will be using. P was very kind and ended up tearing my pages for me there. And you can see, I think they were 4 1/4 by, what was it? 6-ish.
Yes.
Or a little under 6. I think 5 3/4 by 4 3/4.
Right.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on it.
It wasn't exact anyway.
Pause the video. You can see there I put the ruler up. You know us. We're not going to give you the exact recipe.
You need to talk about this lovely piece of paper that you're using there.
Okay. Actually, those 3, now that have become 3, the sparkly bit has been hanging over my head seriously since we've started doing PM Artist Studio back in 2019. And then this sheet of paper is kind of same deal. She brought it out of the, archives.
Seriously, this is
way back when. And you told me that it was okay to do that with the alcohol ink markers.
Yes, because I thought it needed a bit of punch up.
It did. But this is all hand drawn. So I felt it was special.
It started out as a fold and dye paper way back in the days when I was doing batiking. Man. That's how old that piece of paper is.
Now I feel a little bit bad that I did what I did to it.
Oh, I don't feel bad about it at all.
I love how
I have a whole bunch of them somewhere else. I don't know where.
To be determined.
I used to make bookmarks out of them, remember?
Oh, yeah. And see, I was trying to kind of keep it, but yet fold it. But then I was like, that I lose too much. So I ended up cutting it. And there we go. But the alcohol ink markers worked really well on that. I kept the little strip. I think I'll probably end up using it inside of the book when I do more decoration for it. Now I was very happy that it kept that little strip because I needed it to be able to fold it around. Yeah.
Don't ever throw the strips away.
That's right. Till you're done.
And then you probably just put them inside in case something bad happens.
Or bag it and tag it.
Bag it and tag it because some might get stuck together and ripped off, and then you've got something to glue back on.
And I tried the little fancy we are not bookmakers. Maybe one of these days I'll get real good at it. But this is the sloppy. This is the mixed media way. The reason we're mixed media artists is that we don't have to be as particular about things.
No. I see people making absolutely beautiful books, and they're boring as
all get out on the inside.
And I'm just going, why?
Yeah. You put some stuff in there.
Yeah. Send that over to me. I'll jazz it up for you.
I'll rip some pages out, though, because we're going to need more room.
Yeah.
Can you please not make so many pages in that book? I need to fill it.
Put some spaces in between them.
Yeah, that's kind of where we're at with this one. I probably could have even put 5 signatures in there.
You didn't clip your edges on that one? Oh, you did. But after you glued them, that was wonderful. Now you've got glue all over the scissors.
Wow, that's judgy.
It is. But now I know why you keep handing them to me and saying, these need sharpening.
It's all coming clear.
Yes.
I had some bubbles there. I tell you, that little tool, it's so funny. I have I got a cheap tool set for my Cricut stuff, and I use it more for like other things than, because scraping mats is a lot easier with a palette knife.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone will please notice the beautiful...
This beauty. I'm telling you, when she pulled that, I was like, yeah, can I have that? She was going to use it with hers.
I was, but I still, did not want blue. I wanted it to be black all the way.
And I told you when you pulled it, you should have used black.
I should have, and you wouldn't have been able to use it then.
There you go. This all would have been very different.
All very, very different.
One sheet of paper can really
make or break.
And it felt a little wrong kind of cutting this up, but I was like, no, I think that it's the right thing to do, because I couldn't, when you're making these book covers,
you don't like to do the bendy.
No,
the bendy does not work for you.
It's going to crack anyway. There's a reason that books are made the way that they are. So that part I did, I think, keep to a more traditional book binding. I'm sure, hey, comment below, let me know if I'm wrong.
I love how you measure everything, Mariah. That just amazes me.
It was loose measuring.
Oh. Well, I think it's like... And you see that little tool up there? That's the other...
My Google.
The glue tool.
Which was made from one of these postcards, too. They're very multifunctional postcards. They did not function as, sellable Christmas cards, but that's all right. We're getting miles and miles out of them. They're great because they have a laid finish on them.
And it does show up in mine more so than Mariah's, because she covered hers up. But I just used gesso on mine. Yeah,
which is exactly the point in time when I was like, yeah, I'm not involved in your thing, because she wouldn't cover her cover.
I wouldn't. I said I want it to show.
Yeah, and I'm like, no, I'm out. I got to do my own thing. Mine needs to be more colorful anyway. It's dark and stormy nights.
But I think it's just such a...
Okay. We'll get back to that.
This is very interesting. I'm absolutely loving this part right here.
Are you? I think she's being a bit of a smarty pants, but that's all right. Some people...
Everybody loves a little spray and swishing around and gushing up.
I want you to just appreciate that I did the set of pink. It's peachy pink.
Peachy pink.
Went to the yellows, yellowy browns. These are my blue pages. It's kind of like Van Gogh in a set of papers. You know how he had his different periods?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Picasso did too. His was the blue period. I don't believe he had a green.
Was it Van Gogh or both of those had different periods?
Well, they had different periods, yes.
Okay, color.
But mostly Picasso, yeah.
Okay, so that was a misreference. Sorry. Glad I have her here with me to straighten me out. She did it so nicely, too.
That's simply lovely. Look at how that matches.
Yeah, and what was hilarious is you saw the little gookie bits on the blue papers. That was left over because the mats, or the little boards that we create with the freezer paper, had some stuff on it and they transferred. Now, for those of you that might be new to us, P loves to gel print. We have a lot of these sorts of things laying around the studio.
This one actually have some texture paste on it.
Yeah, so it was a little bit tricky holding it. I will tell you that, and pulling it through the signature thing.
And this is one of the things I will deal with on my collage page too.
I love this one. So she ended up actually gel printing on both sides, because these were just single pages. And I said, well, I have, then we were talking about it, and we discussed that it would be really cool to have these beginning and middle pieces, or to the signatures. So they were like kind of chapters. And so they needed to be both sides, because we just didn't want the white paper on the other side.
So I want you to please appreciate how well they were
yes, matched up. That's not her thing. It was a special request. And then I want you to also then appreciate my spray abilities.
Yes, because what happened was the other one was pulled on a 6x8, and this is an 8x10 on the other side. So, yeah, there was that.
And I tell you, it was really great doing the deckled edges. And by the way, there is a list. if you're interested in that, I'm going to have that in the description area. If you hit the little see more information right below this video, you'll see, I'll have the list of like all of what we do during the collab as far as like, you know, what you can use and things like that. We actually really don't care. This one was ornamental, and you know, that's that.
We used a lot of gold.
In the hop, we will also have the other person's video on the end card that it will go to the next person, or you're going to be using the playlist. There you go.
I just wanted those washers to work.
I know. They were just too small. I wasn't going to be able to get the 4 that I ended
signatures.
Yeah, 4 signatures in there. I also I think I'm just going to show one of how I strung it up.
Yeah, that's where we were looking at it and saying, nah, that's not going to work.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
And the bigger ones would have gone over into the binding.
Yeah, that definitely wasn't going to work.
That was not going to work.
This is that awesome.
Sometimes you just have to, you know, as Izzy says, improvise, Gigi.
Improvise. Because we've only told her that like a million times. The string,
this is
thread.
Horrible stuff.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, no, you used the really nice, very pliable stuff.
From Peg over at Tool Pro. She's also in the hop, so I'm sure she used some awesome things as well. But that stuff is awesome. Way better than the embroidery
the stuff that I used is horrible.
It's just, it'll drive you crazy.
It's like wire.
Yeah.
That doesn't bend.
And see, look there, I didn't think you needed to see me do all 4.
That's wonderful. I appreciate you.
This is where it's like, woo, this is tight. But that's good.
Yeah, because these pages are not necessarily coming out. I mean, they could.
And then I had to shore that up a little bit. It kind of got torn.
But that's what's lovely about
the
torn
Deckle.
edge.
Yeah, it was
papers.
it was meant to be. So I had to put it back in there and flip it around. Did you notice that?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I know, because it went the wrong way.
Yeah.
Her cover was no longer the cover.
It was the other side. I'm like, oh, jeez. And we had discussed that it was going to go yellow, teal, pink, and then blue.
Warm, cool, warm, cool.
Yes. And there you go. And now what I didn't show is our dear friend Lisa over at Sirius Heka, also in the collab, in the hop. She sent us some of her most amazing artisan papers, and I ended up using that as I slid it through all the way from the front to the back because it's very fibrous stuff, but I didn't show it here. You'll just have to, take my word for it. That's what I did.
Yeah.
So now these are the Calera watercolors. Love them. They aren't, I will tell you this, after we got the fine tech, they aren't as creamy as the fine tech, but still at a very decent price point, and we love, love, love them. I especially do. What I'm doing is just gilding those torn edges, because the white just was too stark. Like, that's not what I wanted. But I love that torn edge, and this is one way to not only blend, but also kind of highlight in a way.
Now, you also know that this is watercolor, and it is not, if you're like eating something juicy and looking at your book, you might get a little bit of
transfer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I didn't seal it. Our days of, Mod Podging everything or...
I just kind of gave up on that.
Well, with the gel printing, it sort of happens for the most part.
Yeah, with the acrylic paint.
Yeah.
So you don't need to. I just get so tired of everything sticking together.
Yeah. Watch our earlier videos. We'll have a whole different story.
And look at these lovelies here. Oh, I wonder who did those.
Well, tell us about it, P.
Well, that's the lovely paper that we got from Judy P.
This awesome calligraphy style paper. We're not exactly sure because it didn't come in packaging.
No.
But we're very pleased with it.
And look at when you lay it down there, unless you just knew, you would think it was actually done on that. But it offers you the option of movability and flexibility.
Yeah, so if you're going like, well, why wouldn't you just stencil it on there? Well, number one, I wouldn't be able to show you this. It would take in days because it would have had to all dry, and I would be able to do one page at a time versus all at one sitting, just like this.
What's those boogers on there?
We're all about efficiency over here. Our life with a 4-year-old.
And that
demands
is,
it.
That is, I can't remember. I used mostly stencil butter, but I think a couple of them are
your crazy mixes.
Yes, because I didn't have exactly the color that I needed.
I know. And so they mix up really well.
They do.
If you want to know
what... Oh, and there's a little watercolor.
The medallions.
Yes.
Sorry, she looked at me like I was just losing my mind that I'd come back and do a little bit more Goo Gone. But hey, this is ornamental, so I wanted to make sure they really had some bling bling. Plus, I think it's probably stuff that you would have done, but you just...
I was on to something else. I was working on mine.
You were. Actually, I think yours was done by this point.
I was probably... I don't know what I was doing.
I don't know what I was doing. Things.
Something.
Very important stuff over there. Watching some... Hey, how about that? That Vladimir Jazanazek?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. That's the thing that P's been watching the most of lately. Well, great documentaries about artists.
Yes, I ran out of murders.
I really like this direction that you're going with your TV watching. There we go. There's the end bits. I will be adding more and more. I didn't want to show the bead adding thing because I don't even know if they're going to stay. The stitching, I felt like, hey, it's slow, messy stitching. I am by no means a
stitcher.
I like it. I did an hour of it. That actually took me an hour to do that. And then I was done with that. So there you go. And now we'll
have
go on to
a colorful little booklet there.
Now we're going to segue back to peace. We showed you a little bit at the beginning, and here we are.
Here we are. Okay, well, obviously I did not video the process. Shocker. Mariah's supposed to say that.
But the cover is exactly the same. In fact, the cover that you saw at the very beginning there was this cover here.
It did. And I refused to do anything to it, and Mariah wanted to do some other things, so I had to just
There was a slight disagreement on the creative
process there and where it needed to go.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
because I wanted to stay dark, of course. And Mariah did not, so I just went ahead and did my own thing there. So you see here, what really it kind of evolved because I had all of my little zines which needed a cover.
The mark making zines.
There you see the interior. I would like to point out that lovely job on that snaky looking tube there that is the fastener.
She had it done once and then had to redo it again.
Yes, and I wish that Mariah had a close-up of my... Are there any of these that are a close-up of my wonderful macrame process on that horrible stickery embroidery floss stuff?
It went in a little bit there in that one last bit. Rewind it back.
Oh, okay. And I would point out how absolutely lovely that is. It's really not. And people that do macrame would be horrified. But anyway. Okay, so I wanted something to cover up the zine slightly. So I had this piece of organdy.
Organza.
I
don't know why she wants to call it organdy.
I don't either, but somewhere in my
brain
that's what it is. But it came out of the rug that we bought at the Chindi.
Yes.
It was part of that.
And then you had the
acquisition.
Velvety swirly bits that she cut up and very meticulously. I was pretty impressed.
And as well you should be. Yes, on velvet fabric. So we've got so many surfaces, textile surfaces here.
Now talk about those things inside real quick.
What things inside?
Oh, all the fancy little gewgaws and the doodahs.
Oh, on the interior of the book? Yes, those we dug out from...
our rusty bits.
And
then as you see, the rest of that there is the zines. And now we're back to the end here. And there they both are. In their fabulous little glory. Look at that.
Isn't that just marvelous?
Yin and yang.
It's yes, it's very indicative.
All right, guys. guys, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. You know what to do. Leave us comments below because we love those so much. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And
don't forget to ring that bell.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.